We all know that today's movies are filled with VFX. Some of them are obvious, others are invisible. But how many people does it take to create visual effects for a typical blockbuster? Let's check that out. The demand for visual effects is drastically rising. There's barely any film that doesn't require some VFX. But how many artists work on a typical movie or TV series, and how long does it take? We're going to check Avengers: Infinity War, which should be a good example, as a VFX-heavy film. And later, we'll compare it with other films and TV series. Let's start by saying that there's almost no movie for which visual effects are provided by just one company. Usually, it's at least several, and still the work can take several months. On Avengers: Infinity War, VFX have been created by at least 15 different companies. Among them, some of the best and biggest, like Weta Digital, Industrial Light and Magic, Digital Domain, Double Negative, and others. Those companies have a similar structure and hire artists which specialize in one particular field. So we can go through some of the departments and check how many artists and technicians work there regarding Avengers. The work on any VFX project usually starts with concepting creatures and environments and pre-visualization. In those areas, there has been around 20 people working. The concepts then go to 3D modelers. Here it was over 60 people. Next, the models were passed to riggers and animators. Over 80 artists, or to lighting and texturing departments, where over 120 persons worked. Simulations, like smoke, fire, or water, were created by over 100 artists. In the meantime, motion capture and match move teams did their part. That was over 80 people. The footage from principal photography, together with all the previously prepared CG elements, were then passed to paint and rotoscopy, as well as to compositing department. Compositing is the final step on VFX creation. On Avengers, that was over 500 people. On top of that, there was over 120 supervisors of the departments. And the whole process was coordinated by a production team, which consisted of over 170 producers, managers and coordinators. There has been few more departments involved, like editing, IT support, render wranglers, or runners, and multiple other artists and technicians. The sum of all the people that took part in the creation of VFX for Avengers: Infinity War was over 2,080. That number is solely the amount of people working on digital VFX and post-production. It doesn't include anyone who worked on special effects on set, or on makeup or prosthetic effects. Now, this movie is an extreme example, because of the humongous amount of VFX shots and digital characters that it contains. We can quickly compare that to some other films. Iron Man 3, 1,960 people. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2, 1,310. Star Trek Beyond, 1,300 persons. Star Wars, Rogue One, 920. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, 700 people. Matrix Revolutions, 600. Jurassic Park, 304 artists. Matrix, only 135. You can notice how through the past 30 years, the number of visual effects artists was increasing on those productions. It demonstrates how contemporary movies became dependent on VFX. In recent years, audience started to be very demanding regarding TV series. The TV production had to go closer to feature film quality. That of course required raising the budgets, and together with countless new productions from Netflix, HBO, and other stations, the demand for visual effects increased significantly. Few years ago, big VFX houses, like ILM, Weta Digital, or Double Negative, would only work on feature films. Recently, however, TV productions can afford to hire even the big players. Let's now have a look how some of the known TV series look in numbers regarding the amount of required visual effects artists. Lost in Space, 500 people and at least 16 companies. Star Trek Discovery, 450 people from 5 companies. Westworld, 260 people and at least 10 companies. Game of Thrones, 2,500 artists from over 20 companies. That, however, covers all 7 seasons of the show. As you can see, visual effects production is incredibly complicated and time-consuming. To deliver good quality of CGI, it takes hundreds, or even thousands of skilled artists, from many different disciplines. And that can be very expensive. Next time, when watching your favorite film or TV series, think how many people worked hard to deliver you those visuals.